Our guest today is an all-around newsman with experience spanning over 3 decades. But he doesn't look 3 decades old, by the way. After all these years, he's still got more stories to tell. We talked to the legendary Jing Magsaysay here in the Hangout. Beautiful day, Jing Magsaysay. Thank you so much for joining
having
us.
me, Paolo, and thank you. Thank you.
Jake, let's start off first with us. Well, for me personally, I'm happy that you're here because we've had a brush in our shared history way back in the day. Because when I started out as CNN in the Philippines, you were actually the boss. But I was not important enough to meet you personally. So it's great to finally talk to you here.
Sayang, you were there
Okay.
pala.
Yeah.
We should have
We,
talked.
we should have talked kahit
Yeah,
konti, no?
kahit
But
konti.
the reason why we're here is because you actually have a new medium. You have the News Team podcast.
Yeah.
And you sometimes you really can't get rid of the news from your system, from your life. And here you are with this new medium. How has that experience been like? How has the shift been? Because you've had a completely different experience delivering the news for so many years.
You know, me and my friends, the news team is a team. So in the team are Jing Reyes. Jing Reyes started in 1986 as a production assistant writer. After martial law, after the revolution.
What a time to start.
When ABS-CBN reopened, she was there, sitting on apple boxes because wala pang upuan sa newsroom. And she became executive producer of The World Tonight and TV Patrol, and then she became head of the ABS-CBN News North American Bureau, and she came back to the Philippines to be head of the entire ABS-CBN News Group.
Yeah.
Also on the podcast is Henry Umaga Diaz. Henry joined in the early 90s. He started with DZMM. And I talked to him when in 1993 we were talking during the eruption of Mount Mayon in Albay. And I said, sama ka na lang sa amin. So he joined ABS-CBN News. Danny Buenafe is in the team. I met Danny during martial law when we were both at Broadcast City. This is where all the TV stations were before. He was with IBC 13, Channel 13, and I was with BBC 2. I was doing radio. I was in the jazz station during the daytime, and I was doing News Watch in the evening with Lauren Legarda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started in 1981, and that's where I started as a reporter in news in RPN 9 in 1981. And then there's Chari Villa, of course. Chari came from IBC 13 as well.
Yeah.
And she joined ABS-CBN and became our defense reporter. And then she headed the regional network group, news group, as well. And she formed a team called Tao Po with ABS-CBN, which is a public service group. We also have Ces Drilon, of course. Everyone knows Stress Drilon. No?
Yes.
Stress Drilon.
No? So Ces started well, she was in PTV4 before ABS-CBN.
Yeah.
And then she moved over to ABS-CBN. And all these years, we've been getting together. We've had lunches and dinners and a few drinks together every now and then. And whenever we would get together, nagkukwentuhan kami, and we would talk about the old days. We would talk about what we call the old newsroom, because there were two newsrooms at ABS-CBN. The old newsroom was a plywood newsroom.
Yeah.
Maliit lang
Yeah,
and
yeah.
konti lang kami. That's where we all started before moving into the main newsroom in the big building, the building in front, Sergeant Esguerra, if you're familiar with ABS-CBN.
Yes.
Yes.
By the way, gigibayin na yun.
Yeah.
I know.
And the tower as well, to make
Yeah.
way for, I think it's a mixed-use mall
Yeah.
by Ayala or something. No? So we would get together every now and then, and pag nagkukwentuhan kami, we would come up with all these stories and all the behind the scenes anecdotes in our professional lives. So one day, sabi namin, ba't di tayo sumulat ng libro?
Yeah.
So we tried to break it down. Jing Reyes did a bullet point list of what we had to do, and we broke the book down in chapters. And the chapters, syempre, wala nangyari. Because we just couldn't sit down and start writing the book. And then we came up with the idea of doing a podcast. Podcast na lang natin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it would be more natural,
Yeah.
and everything was off the cuff. It's not scripted,
Yeah.
and the stories would just flow. So
Yeah.
that's how it happened.
And mas malawak yung reach.
Yes,
If you start a podcast,
Mas malawak yung
right?
reach.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I listened to the very first episode where you were telling all about your history, background. I love that episode. Kasi
Yeah.
talaga, ang dami kong natutunan. And oh my God, you started in 1976.
I started
Radio,
in
and then-
1976.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
1976
in
in radio. And then you got called to audition for a news broadcast, right? And then that's what you mentioned a while ago, that you
Yeah. For
co-anchored
RPN9
with
with Lauren
Lauren
Legarda in
Legarda.
1981. Yeah.
So all those years that you were in the industry, you saw how news has evolved, right? It's ibang-iba na from then and now.
Yeah.
Why did you feel na this kind of podcast is needed at this time?
Reference point. I think we all need a reference point where it's been and where it's going. It's very simple. Before, when you had a TV station or a radio station, you were the only one who would be able to reach millions of people.
Yes.
Nobody else could.
Yeah.
A newspaper, of course. No?
Yeah.
So, dati ang tawag doon, tri-media. So
Yes.
you had print and radio and TV. You had to have a broadcast station, no? Like, for example, ABS-CBN in the old days, before the age of satellite, no? And to the young guys out there, yes, there was an age before satellites. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, if I was broadcasting in Quezon City,
Yeah.
and gusto ko mapanood sa Zamboanga,
Yeah.
then you would have to send the signal to Zamboanga from Quezon City.
Yes.
Without a satellite, how do you do that? You would have to have a tower on all the highest mountains in the Philippines up to Zamboanga to relay the signal from Quezon City to Zamboanga.
Yeah.
So you had all these relay stations, and ABS-CBN had all these relay stations all across the country.
Yeah.
It was that difficult to broadcast. So, ang nakaka-broadcast lang nun, you may network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But
When,
things have
at the
changed now.
introduction of the internet, everybody could reach millions of people.
Yes.
So that changed the landscape drastically.
It increases the reach, obviously, especially when you take a look at people getting their information online at the
Right.
moment. It feels like one of the biggest gifts of technology, but also one of the biggest challenges at the same time, because right now, content is less curated, news is less
There are
curated.
no gatekeepers.
There are no gatekeepers. Is that the biggest challenge in your opinion sa industriya natin ngayon?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why we said we have to talk about standards because with the introduction of the internet and the loss of the gatekeepers, we all had gatekeepers when we were reporters. We had editorial boards. We had editorial meetings every day at 7 in the morning to discuss editorial standards and directions. Today, kahit sino lang pwede magsabi ng kahit ano on the internet. People lie on the internet. And if you're a consumer of information on the internet, kung mahilig ka sa news, pero yung pinakikinggan mong balita, hindi naman totoo. Yung paniniwalaan mo, hindi totoo. So, there are a lot of lies, misinformation, and disinformation. So, it's good to talk about what to consume, who to listen to, and how to vet the information that you're getting and you're consuming on a daily basis, because that's going to make you.
Yeah.
That's going to develop you into a person with particular prejudices and particular ideas. No? Ang hirap naman na lumalaki ka sa kasinungalingan.
Yeah.
So, it's important that we talk about the standards of journalism again.
Yeah.
Because there are standards of journalism. Because you can't equate news with the truth all the time.
Yeah.
That's not true. No? News is the effort to get at the truth, as close to it as you can get. That's the job. Pero ngayon, yung mga iba sinasabi, that's my truth.
Yeah.
There-
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say some people do that, and some people they have preferences kung anong klaseng mensahe yung makukuha nila. Like, you
Yes.
can look at a certain topic, but then if it's not said the right way or kung mali yung angulo, they can. There's so many options out there. They can actually pick and choose the voice that they're listening to about this certain topic. Which brings me to my next point, because right now, apart from the challenges na, okay, the gatekeepers is a bit difficult. You mentioned that almost everyone can say something
Right.
and make their news. Right now, people can now program things to say things that they can via AI, and it
Yeah.
feels so real. And right now, the challenge is even bigger, larger. We talk about deep fakes all the time right
Right.
now when it comes to the news. But then when we take a look at this particular layer, I don't feel like we've even overcome the previous challenge of
Right.
being reliable as we should be
Right.
online. But right now, with this new challenge of AI as well, how do you imagine we tackle that?
Very back to basics again. In journalism, when we were reporters, we always relied on attribution. It's not according to me. It's according to someone. And that someone, ideally, should be the guy who is in authority about the subject. For example, I go to a disaster area
Yeah.
and I just don't talk to anybody. I will talk to the guy who's head of the disaster operations, whoever that is, the head of the military or the head of the local government. Or so according to Mayor Paulo or according to Mayor Ann. So whatever you say is the official line because you are the official in charge in that area.
Yeah.
So attribution. So if you're a consumer of information, be sure that you're listening to people who the information is attributable to, is official in that story.
Yeah.
No? If you go back to that, back to the basics, then hindi ka masyado maliligaw when you're gathering the information. Number one. Number two, get multiple sources,
Yeah.
which is what we do as well. No? Don't just trust the word of one person or
Yeah.
one source. No? Especially kung magkaaway sila.
That's true.
So get both sides. You don't get just one side in a conflict. No? So get both sides.
You know, with the advent of technology, like you've mentioned, kanina, it's a gift, right? But it can also be like a big challenge for us kasi syempre, with great technology comes great responsibility
Oh,
as
Spider-Man
well.
tayo lahat.
Diba?
Oh, Spider-Man tayo lahat.
Kasi now it's so easy to deliver the news out there, diba? You can see,
Accountability.
yeah, accountability. That's the right term. Kasi you just turn on your cell phone and then show things around, and then there you already have your news broadcast, right? So we're in an era of fast news, misinformation, AI. Can you tell us ano ba ang core value talaga ng trustworthy journalism?
You go back to the basics again. No?
Yeah.
Truth, respect. Don't invade anyone's space. Be respectful, but ask the right questions. Don't be afraid to ask the right questions. Of course, know the subject. Hindi ka pwede pumunta doon na wala ka naman alam. And then, doon ka palang mag-aaral ng subject.
Yeah.
When you're doing an interview. No? So, know the subject, read up, prepare yourself. I'm talking about people who want to be journalists. No? Because that's where it's coming from. You know? Yung journalist, iba ho yan sa vlogger. Ang journalist, pwede maging vlogger. Pero yung vlogger, minsan hindi pwede maging journalist.
Yeah.
Magkaiba ho yun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you adhere to the basic ethics and values of journalism, why not? Dapat patas-patas. And there are rules that we live by and we should be living by. They're really very simple. Don't lie. Don't make up things.
Yeah.
Kadalasan kasi yung mga nadidinig natin, the bosses on the internet, have agendas to to fulfill, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meron silang gusto mangyari.
Yeah.
That's why people do these things.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's always that statement that the favorite buzzword I remember, I believe, started in 2016 was the word bias. Especially online. Lahat ng news may konting slant, may konting bias because of siguro yung sources, because of the way it's written, who's saying the news, and we have all of that. But unfortunately, we cannot digress on that in the interest of time. But our goal kasi to be here is that this interview be repeated all over the Philippines in terms of the classrooms para matuto yung mga younger journalists from you.
Yes.
Truth lang,
Yeah,
truth.
yeah. Of course, I just want to talk about your background as well because you started out as a radio DJ.
Right.
And here you are right now in almost a radio-like setup sa podcast ninyo.
Yeah, it's
And
nice.
I mean, like, it's
Like
also
this.
like this
Yeah.
actually. And of course, you also went through the time wherein we were all trying to figure out how do we report the news on social media.
Right.
Just looking at how technology has changed the way we do things. Just how exciting and scary are the times are for you personally at the moment.
Exciting because it's an opportunity again to elevate the discussion by talking about the things that we should be talking about, truth and facts only,
Right.
and not let politics dictate the discussion of our everyday.
Yeah.
And let's talk about more important things as well: welfare of people, social service. Look at the roads now. Umulan ng 3 linggo, lahat ng kali halos sira na, no? So, what kind of life is the government giving us, no? So, these are the things that we should be talking about. We should be talking truth power. We should be holding people accountable.
Right.
When they should. Now, I'm not talking about journalists only, no, but more so people in government.
Yeah.
So exciting because we can do this. Look at what we're doing this morning. We're talking about this, and this is the things that should be happening. Dapat nag-uusap tayo,
Yes.
and dapat ang pinag-uusapan yung mahalaga, hindi yung kung ano-ano lang, and not politics, because politics is divisive
Yes, it is.
by design.
And with that, I wish we actually had a podcast kasi medyo limitado tayo dito sa morning show natin eh. Oh.
I know. Sa kala
yeah.
natin we had a lot of time,
Yeah.
but now I think we're down to our last question.
Of course, our last question here. Anne loves sharing this question.
Yes,
Sir
because
Jing.
this day is called the show is called Beautiful Day. So, Sir Jing, what makes your day beautiful?
The sunrise this morning. It was the first sunrise I saw in 3 weeks. I was making my way to Quezon City, and the sun peaked. I don't know if it's going to shine all day, but that only means for me that there's always hope.
That's
The
beautiful.
sun's going to shine
Beautiful.
every day.
That's beautiful. And
Thank you.
again, you can catch your podcast where? Where can we find it and see it?
Oh yeah, you can catch it, the news team, on YouTube and Facebook, but the full episode's on YouTube. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hindi pa kami sanay magsabi. Please,
I know.
and follow.
You gotta learn.
Like,
you gotta
you
learn
gotta
as you
learn,
go.
yeah.
Yes.
You know-
And a new episode's coming out soon, right?
New
Yes.
episode number 5 is coming out in a day or 2. So YouTube,
excited.
the news team PH,
Yeah.
please.
If I'm not mistaken, may TikTok din kayo.
Meron.
Meron.
Wow.
Oo, pero
Yeah,
walang
we
sayawan
do.
doon. Seryosong
We
usapan
do.
lang.
Ngayon lang kami natuto, pero meron.
Changing technology. We're all
Yeah,
learning here.
yeah.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jing Magsaysay, thank you so much for
Salamat.
joining us
Thank
here.
you. Thank you,
Thank you for
Anne.
your
Thank you,
time.
Paula.